Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Saif. I'm a system engineer at SoftTrend, and today I'm going to be talking about Kaspersky Next and what it offers. So this is going to be our agenda for this webinar. First of all, we're going to discuss what's Kaspersky Next and what it provides, the tiers that are provided in the Kaspersky Next bundle, what are the key components that are offered with each plan, and the features that make up the ransomware detection component. We're also going to discuss the layers of protection provided in the EDR, its capabilities, the incident response stages, and how the solution is managed with different management consoles. And if we have any questions, we're going to have some time at the end of the session. So what is next? So basically, Kaspersky, as you may know, it's a huge organization in the field of cybersecurity. Mainly after the coronavirus and the increase in remote working, they decided that they have to create a more scalable solution that can be managed easily from the cloud or on-premise if required. And they decided, instead of having around 6 or 7 different plans that can maybe create confusion for the customer, they decided to create 3 main tiers: the Foundations, Optimum, and Expert. So for the EDR Foundations plan, it's basically the simplest of all plans. It provides the main features it provides is powerful machine learning endpoint protection, automated remediation, flexible security controls, and there are also, as for the EDR features in the Foundations, it only provides root cause analysis tools. There's not really an automated response feature in it, but you can check the root cause analysis tools and find the main source or the main entrance that the malicious attacker used to get inside the network. The next level after the Foundations is the EDR Optimum. It provides the functionality and delivers visibility analysis and automated response, as also strong endpoint protection, improved controls, patch management, and it also provides cybersecurity training for your IT team, which can be used to raise awareness on the cybersecurity field in general and to keep you updated on the latest attacks and discoveries in the field. Finally, we have the Expert tier, which is it's more focused on the larger organizations with a wide number of users and different branches and different locations around the world, mainly. It also requires to be managed by a specific SOC team. What it offers is that it integrates seamlessly with your already existing security infrastructure, whether it's a SIM solution, a SOAR solution. It also provides also real-time visibility and deep insights into different threats, as well as advanced threat detection, cross-asset correlation, and of course, the automated response. So before the next plans, Kaspersky had around 6 or 7 different plans, and as I mentioned previously, they decided to go with the next tiers in order to make it simpler for the customer and to also be scalable as your organization grows. So say I have a small startup, I want to secure it as much as possible, as little cost as possible, without having to settle for a lesser secure solution. So Kaspersky decided to go and create 3 different tiers in order for when your startup grows or your small company grows into a medium business, you can move on to the Optimum. Say you grew even more, you became a large organization, you can move on to the Expert, and you have a solution that grows along with you instead of holding you back and you having to pay extra fees for features that you may not require at the moment. So if you already have Kaspersky, any of the older versions, Then Kaspersky replaced the business select plans and Cloud Plus with the EDR foundations. So it's basically equivalent to these three plans. As for the EDR Optimum, it's replacing the Business Advanced, Cloud Pro, and obviously the previous EDR Optimum plan. And finally, for the EDR Expert, it's replaced with the XDR Expert with more functionality, of course. Now, let's say you have no idea about the features that are provided in Kaspersky, but you know you need a next-gen antivirus, for example, then you can either go with the EDR Foundations or the EDR Optimum. The EDR Foundations, as you can see, it provides robust protection with no hassle, meaning that you don't have to manage every single small detail within the solution. It's the foundations tier is easily managed, uh, not as many configurations as the other tiers, and it still provides a strong level of protection. As for the EDR Optimum, it provides an expanding security with limited resources, as well as simplicity and speed of incident response. So you have easily managed features with a strong level of protection and automated response without having to tire yourself and to stay focused on the configurations and the details in every single part of the solution. Finally, if you're looking for an XDR solution, then the XDR Expert would be the perfect thing for you, as it brings a wide range of security tools, as well as powerful protection and security integration. So you might be wondering, why would I go with Kaspersky next? There are three main reasons. First of all, as we mentioned, Kaspersky decided to keep things simple rather than having a wide variety of different plans that you would need to sit down and study each plan in order to decide what you need. You can go through the three main tiers. They're progressive tiers. They deliver everything that is mentioned, and you can pick the features that you need without having to pay an extra cost for something that you may not utilize fully. The second reason is that it covers all the bases. Say you're a smaller business looking to keep things at a low cost, or you're a medium business that maybe have a wider limit on the budget and you're looking for a robust and well-known solution that you can guarantee would protect you, or you're a large organization, you have a wide budget, you can hire a SOC team, you have all the features needed, then you can also implement the Kaspersky Next solution in your ecosystem without any hassle or difficulty. And finally, the main target behind this new product is to put the EDR and XDR at the heart of your security solution. It meets all the needs that you may have regarding your cybersecurity requirements, be it from the root cause analysis tool that is considered as entry level because it just gives you an overview of the attack, or all the way to the sophisticated and advanced SOC operations, such as integrating with your SIM solution and utilizing your already existing security infrastructure through the Kaspersky Next platform. So we're going to have a quick overview on each plan, and then we're going to dive into more details in the next slides. First of all, the EDR Foundations. It offers, as we mentioned, cloud monitoring, EDR root cause analysis tools, and some flexibility in the security controls, as well as the automatic remediation. It protects all your endpoints. It keeps things safe. It removes any headache from your IT team, while also providing as much automation as possible for this level. Moving on to the EDR Optimum, you have the root cause analysis as well, enhanced controls in comparison to the EDR Foundation. You have cloud monitoring and blocking, where you can limit what your users access on the cloud. be it applications, websites, services. You also have the cybersecurity training for your IT staff, automated and guided response, and threat discovery with IOC or indicator of compromise. And that is a really important feature that we're going to discuss also in the coming slides. Optimum provides you with the expanded cloud security and enterprise-grade controls at a significantly lower cost in comparison with other solutions in the market. We also have the XDR expert, the more advanced of the three plans. It provides cross-asset correlation, threat hunting, playbooks, and response automation, where you place some rules and triggers that activate a response based on the situation that is happening in your network. And it's used as a powerful threat hunting tool with seamless integration with your security infrastructure. For this slide, we're going to discuss the features that are provided in each plan in more detail than the previous slides. First of all, we're going to take the EDR foundations and see what it offers for us. So as you can see, it provides the endpoint protection features such as the file, web, and mail antivirus, network protection, AMSI solution as well. And basically, it provides the foundational layer using multi-layered anti-malware technologies, be it such as the signature-based, heuristic, behavioral analysis. It mainly targets the objective of blocking threats such as viruses, ransomware, or also zero-day attacks in real time, instead of already discovering that the attack happened and then trying to find the solution. It tries to be a more of a proactive solution. So we're gonna dissect some of the features. For instance, the AMSI that you may not be familiar with, it is the anti-malware scan interface. The way it works is that it allows third-party applications, maybe such as a PowerShell script, to send objects to the Kaspersky solution in order for it to perform an additional scan and guarantee that there is no any malicious code inside it. We also have the exploit prevention, which proactively blocks any malware from using your software vulnerabilities to execute any malicious code and contaminating your device, as well as the remediation, which is rolling back the actions that have been done by an attack, behavior detection, which studies the day-to-day behavior of your device, and if any unusual changes occur, it alerts you and takes action. We also have the HIPS, which is the host intrusion prevention system, and it mainly prevents applications from performing actions that could be harmful for your operating system, and it does that by restricting their access to any critical resources. It also performs some actions such as the behavioral analysis, which also studies your behavior on the device, anomaly detection, which is also under the same umbrella of behavior analysis, and signature-based detection, which is a normal antivirus feature. Moving on, we also have the feature that is security management. It covers the firewall, web device application controls, and the cloud discovery. Cloud discovery is basically identifies and restricts if your user or someone in the network is using any unauthorized cloud services, which can also be known as shadow IT if you've heard of the phrase before. So you can basically keep tabs on all the users in your network and check if anyone is having any unauthorized access to cloud services that you want to block. And for the EDR foundations, you can only discover, you cannot take action, but we'll discuss that in the optimum features. Next, we also have the mobile protection and management, which is basically offering security for Android and iOS devices. Some of the security features are anti-malware, anti-theft functions, such as remotely locking your devices in case of theft or loss. You can also wipe your device and remove any data on it. And it offers also controls for the device, such as blocking the camera feature on the phone and restricting Wi-Fi access. But these two features are mainly present only on the Android devices, not the iOS devices, because as you may know, iOS devices are more restrictive and not really open source like the Android devices. So there's more freedom for Kaspersky to take actions and act on Android devices in comparison with the iOS or Apple devices. For the IT scenarios that we have in the EDR foundations, we have two main and important features, which are the vulnerability assessment and the software and hardware inventory. For the vulnerability assessment, it basically scans for outdated software on your device and alerts you if any application or software requires an immediate update in order to keep the security level high. And for the software and hardware inventory, it discovers and tracks all your hardware and software assets in the network and keeps record of all of them in order to provide a high level of visibility on your network. As for the cloud protection, as I mentioned, there is only cloud discovery, which keeps you aware of the unauthorized cloud services that your user may be accessing and allowing you to keep tabs on their usage. And finally, for the foundation tier, we have the root cause analysis, which provides full visibility on the attack, how it came to occur in the network and where it entered and what level it reached and the level of harm or the level of harm that it created in the network and how to limit it as much as possible. Unfortunately, for the foundation tier, it only provides root cause analysis and there is no endpoint response. But we're going to move on to the optimum plan. Obviously, as we move from a plan to another, so the optimum has all the features that are provided in the foundations, in addition to patch management. We also have data wipe, third-party application, DOS installation, and remote connection. So we'll go over these quickly. Patch management is basically, as we mentioned in the foundations, the vulnerability assessment, it detects which software or applications require an immediate update. And in Optimum, you can also have the patch management feature in order to run these updates automatically through tasks that are created on Kaspersky, and it updates your software applications automatically. We also have the third-party applications and operating system installation, where you can deploy different applications on your devices, or if it requires an operating system installation, you can also do that remotely from the centralized management console. We also have the remote connection, where you can connect remotely onto the device in your network that is managed by Kaspersky and accessing it like some applications such as AnyDisk or the RDP feature on the Windows. As for encryption, we have encryption and encryption management in the EDR Optimum. It allows basically for remote management, and it enforces also native drive encryption on operating systems such as BitLocker for Windows and FileVault for macOS. And it's basically used to protect the data in case you lost your device or it was stolen from you, to keep the data encrypted. So even if the attacker or whoever stole your device has access to the data or figured out a way to enter into the device, your data would be encrypted, and they would have no real use of your data as long as it's encrypted. And for the optimum, we also have security for Microsoft Office 365 services such as Exchange Online, SharePoint, and OneDrive. Kaspersky secures the data inside these services from any advanced threats, and it also enables data discovery for compliance purposes and keeps your level of visibility high on these services. As we mentioned, we also have the education for the IT administrators. It provides training modules, both theoretical and practical, where you can finish these modules and you get certificates as well from Kaspersky. And it keeps your awareness and update level high on the different updates in the cybersecurity field in general, and keeps you aware of the different potential attacks that you may face. As for the EDR capabilities, on top of the root cause analysis, of course, we have the IOC scan and the endpoint response. As for the IOC scan, it's basically matching the indicators of compromise with potential malicious files on your network. So basically, there is a public IOC database that you may have heard of, which is the CVE, Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. Kaspersky uses this and its own database that is full of different IOCs, and it scans your network. If it finds any matching IOCs, indicators of compromise on your network, it alerts you and it triggers the response in order to either quarantine the device that it found the malicious file on, or block it out of the network totally, or take the action that you have previously configured on the management console. As for the XDR expert, we have all the features that we discussed in addition to the advanced EDR capabilities, such as threat hunting, which is proactively searching for hidden threats that is performed by security specialists from Kaspersky. We also have the meter attack mapping, which maps detected threats and provides a framework in order to understand the tactics that different attackers use. And it's also used to improve your defense strategies in order to keep your network at a high level of security. We also have the XDR capabilities, such as the alert aggregation and cross correlation, which are basically unifying a high volume of raw alerts that are maybe not that useful into more prioritized incidents that you can check and study. Are also full of richer context and make more sense that you can reduce any manual effort of trying to collect these different alerts, and it basically combines these alerts into creating a one big alert that you can check in order to keep your level of security as high as possible. And we also have the sandbox feature, which is it's not like a GUI sandbox, but you basically you submit a file onto the sandbox feature in the management console, and it basically explodes this file and checks for any malicious code within it in order to test it before you can use it in your environment. And if it's safe, you get back a report saying that this file is safe, you can go ahead and proceed with it. Or if it's malicious and full of malicious code, you also get back an alert saying that this file is insecure and it's recommended that you do not access it on your device. We also have the playbooks, which are basically used to automate incident response with predefined actions and sequences that you can set whichever way you see appropriate. So in the past 3 months or 4 months, Kaspersky decided to drop two new next plans. that are within the optimum level as well, which are the XDR optimum and MXDR optimum. The main differences between XDR optimum and the EDR optimum are basically three main features, which are the alert aggregation, the ASAP platform, and the Kaspersky Cloud Sandbox. So we have discussed already the alert aggregation and the Cloud Sandbox. As for the Automated Security Awareness Platform, or ASAP, it provides security awareness. Instead of providing it for the IT team, it now provides it for the users, but it comes at a specific count. So let's say you have maybe 100 licenses of the XDR Optimum, you get 20% of your licenses. So 20 users can go through with the training, and you can assign modules to specific users based on what you think they need to be aware of. So let's say you need your finance department to be aware of the phishing attacks in order to keep them away from any potential phishing attacks or unsecure emails that they might get. Then you assign a phishing training module to the users in the financial department or the finance department in order to raise awareness. And you can also track their progression and check if they actually completed the course, or you can see also where they stopped and how long it's taking them to finish the course, in order to keep track of your employees' awareness as well. And as you know, most of the attacks that take place these days are the number one reason actually is the human error. So if you can tackle and decrease this human error by increasing the knowledge of your employees, then it would definitely be helpful for you and would remove a lot of hassle and headache from you. The more that your employees are aware of their cybersecurity surroundings. As for the MXDR Optimum, it's basically the same as the XDR Optimum with an additional managed protection, which is basically you have a SOC team from Kaspersky at your disposal whenever required. They can test your environment, you can report any incidents, and you would have direct communication with the SOC team. And it's basically instead of hiring your own SOC team, you have the Kaspersky SOC team performing all the needed actions for you. Now, moving on to the key components and ransomware detection features. Some of the key components in the EDR solution are three main components: the web threat protection, mail threat protection, and web control protection. For the web threat protection, the way it works is that it analyzes the URL addresses, and if it finds out that this URL is known for redirecting to phishing websites, it blocks it automatically, while also scanning for any files or objects that may have been downloaded while accessing this website, and it also blocks these malicious files from running. As for the mail threat protection, Kaspersky intercepts the emails at the protocol level, such as the POP3, SMTP, IMAP, and NNTP, and it does that by embedding into the Microsoft Outlook, and it blocks email attachments from running in case it discovers there's any malicious code within these files. And for the web control protection, it's mainly used to reduce the attack surface, and you can use it to block access for specific websites that you want to limit for the users, and having more restrictions on their internet access in general. As for threat protection, we have two main types of threat protection: the advanced and the essential. For the advanced threat protection, it's basically focused on behavior detection. It studies your pattern of usage on the device and what this device usually uses or accesses, or how much resources it uses up while running. And it keeps it as a reference. And in the future, if if there's anything abnormal happening on this device, it scans and checks if there's any malicious code running on the device. And it's used also to detect any ransomware activities or potential zero-day attacks. As for the essential threat protection, it's more focused on the signature detection, like a normal antivirus. It scans file and mail, and also performs the AMSI protection that we discussed previously, while also matching these potential threats with the CVE database and checking across the known vulnerabilities in public. Moving on to the ransomware detection components, starting off with the exploit prevention. The exploit prevention basically monitors any start operations and system processes that have started running without the user putting in a command for the file or exe file to run. And if you let's say you open the PDF file and out of nowhere a service or a process started running in the background, Kaspersky blocks it right away and scans the file and alerts you that there is an executable running without your permission. As for behavior detection, as we mentioned, it logs your usual activity, and if any of this behavior changes abnormally, it detects the malware and blocks its action. And it also protects any shared folder against external encryption from the attacker. We also have the remediation engine, which is a very important feature. And what it does is that it rolls back the actions taken by a malicious program. So let's say you faced a ransomware attack, it rolls back the files or your data pre-encryption in order to keep business continuity and for you to be able to access your data and carry on with your business while your cybersecurity team or your IT team handles the situation. And it also creates a backup of the files in order to be able to run it back to its safe version without the ransomware attack or the encryption that the attackers have placed. And finally, we have the AMSI protection that we discussed, which is used to scan scripts while they're running in order to prevent and limit any malicious code from running on your device without you being aware. And it also interacts with different Windows features such as PowerShell and JavaScript. Moving on to a very important feature in the Kaspersky platform, which is the distribution point. A distribution point is basically a proxy that can be used to connect your network with the Kaspersky servers. So let's say you have multiple branches. Let's say you have 3 branches, and you want to limit the bandwidth usage between these devices and the Kaspersky servers. For each branch, you would have a distribution point, and each distribution point collects all the updates or data from these devices and sends it onto the servers. And from the other point of view, it collects maybe any updates, policies, or tasks that you place on the management console. And they come from the Kaspersky servers onto your distribution point, and each distribution point would, as it comes from the name, would distribute the tasks or the updates onto the devices in the network under its control. And some of the actions that the distribution point can take is it can hold the network and discover the devices that are present in the network or also in your domain. It can also distribute installation packages if you maybe need to download a third-party application or a Kaspersky application. You can do that remotely through the distribution point. And you can also, as I mentioned, distribute policies and tasks and use it as an update source to different applications or operating systems on your devices. and it finally acts as a proxy server between your network and the Kaspersky security network. Now we're going to take a look on the different layers of protection in the EDR Foundation and Optimum. We have 4 main layers that we have discussed, but we'll go through quickly. We have the endpoint protection, the security management, the IT scenario automation, and the cloud protection. For the endpoint protection, all these features are under the umbrella of the endpoint protection, which are file, web, mail protection, AMSI, exploit prevention, remediation engine, which rolls back the actions, behavior detection, and host intrusion prevention. For the security management layer, we have the firewall that keeps tabs on everything on the network level. We have the web control, device control, and application control, which can be used to block certain applications from running and limiting access to your users in order to maintain the high level of security that you need. We also have the scenario automation that gives you a centralized management of vulnerability assessment, patch management, which you can use to update different applications on your devices. Data web in case of loss or theft, you can delete all the data on the devices. Software and hardware inventory to keep track of your assets, and installation of applications remotely. Finally, we have the cloud protection layer, which scans and protects any data that is hosted on different cloud services in order to make sure that no virus or malicious code comes from these services. It also scans files through the different Microsoft 365 services, as we mentioned, to check for any malware or any malicious actions that may be taking place. And it also controls the user access to different cloud services. As we mentioned, the shadow IT, it keeps your level of visibility on the cloud services high, and you can stay aware on finding out what the user accesses without authorization from the IT department. Next, we're going to discuss the different stages of incident response. First of all, we have the analysis of the alert. Basically, the alert comes and the incident is classified whether an actual positive incident, so there is an actual incident, or is it a false positive, where the alert is pointing out something that may be unusual, but it's not a malicious file or action. It also identifies the source and devices affected, where the attack came from, and which devices it affected in the network. And the incident priority is also determined if it's contaminating into the network, or is it a minimal incident that is limited on one device and can be managed easily. The next stage is investigation, which is basically studying the detection details and using IOCs to find more information about the attack that's taking place. As you may know, the publicly provided IOCs also provide a solution on how to block these attacks. So when investigating, you can also find if the IOCs match, you can also find the solution for that threat. And the next stage we go through is the threat containment, which is isolating the hosts where you discover this suspicious activity. You can also prevent execution of suspicious files and documents. You can quarantine these files or quarantine the devices itself by isolating them as well in order to reduce the spread of these suspicious files onto the network and limiting other devices. As for the can you hear my voice clearly, or did it cut off? And could someone confirm, please, if you can hear me?
Yes, Safe, the sound is clear.
Okay, perfect. Okay, back to our slides. So now, for the fourth stage of the incident response, we have the scanning for other endpoints for IOCs that we discussed and checking for different indicators that may keep us alert if the other devices have been affected as well. And we scan for the IOCs on the other devices that are outside of the range of the attack in order to make sure that the attack did not spread on other devices as well. And the next stage is the threat eradication and network recovery, where all the malicious processes are killed off and removed from our network, the objects that have been added or deleted. And we finally restore the files on back to their legitimate edition without the attackers editing into the files, and we remove them from the quarantine, and we remove the isolated hosts from their isolation and back to the network after guaranteeing that they have been purified from the attacker's malicious code. And finally, after checking that everything is safe and the network is back running as it should be, we finally closed the incident. Now we'll discuss the EDR capabilities. We have the root cause analysis, which is basically shows the flow chart of the attack. EDR mainly isolates the endpoint when it detects an attack. It quarantines all the deleted object or detected object, sorry, and it prevents any malicious file from running on your device. And as we mentioned, it finds IOCs based on the data obtained from different resources such as the CVE database. And some of the actions it takes are running an additional scan to double check that the IOCs are actually there, quarantining a file, or isolating the device from your network fully. Some safety precautions that are provided by Kaspersky Next is the encryption feature, as we discussed, where it guarantees that BitLocker or File Vault are enforced on your device, and you can centrally manage the encryption process from the Kaspersky Management Console. And we also have the data wipe feature, which allows you to either manually delete the data fully from the laptop, or if the device is not connected to the Kaspersky Security Center for an X number of days that you set manually, then the Kaspersky will perform automatically the data wipe feature, as it would assume that the device has been stolen or lost. Moving on to the management consoles, we have two types of management consoles. We have the Pro View and the Expert View. The Pro View is basically cloud-based. It's more geared towards the SMBs, as it's easier to use and has fewer granular configurations and less options for configuration. And it has a license limitation of 2,500 users. As for the Expert View, it has both cloud-based and on-premise platforms, and it caters more towards large organizations, but it can be used by either parties. If you decide to use Kaspersky on-premise and management on-premise instead of the cloud, then you can also use Expert View without any user limitation. But if you decide to go with the cloud Expert View, which is the cloud console, the usual is that there is a 300 user minimum, but we at SoftTrend, as we are as due to our high level of partnership, we have a minimum limitation of 100 users instead of the 300 users. So if you have 100 users or more, then the Expert View on the cloud is also a valid option for you. So what are the differences between the Pro View and the Expert View? There are also some functions available only on the Pro view, such as the configuration of the security for Microsoft Office 365, the data discovery, and the cybersecurity training that we discussed for the IT team that can also only be provided through the Pro view workspace. And on the other hand, some functions that are only provided in the expert view are, if you have a SIM solution, then exporting events from the Kaspersky logs to the SIM solution can only be performed from the expert view. Also, the software and hardware inventory feature is only provided in expert view, where you can check your assets. And the installation of third-party applications is only provided in expert view and not available in Pro view. When it comes to integration with Active Directory, it's not fully supported on Pro view, but there is a sort of a loophole that you can use on the Pro view, where you can download the protection application distribution, and then you place this application distribution on a shared network folder that is accessible to all the users on the network. And then you can configure the installation of this package through an Active Directory policy. So you can use it through Active Directory, but it's not full integration. In comparison with Expert View, you can automatically create groups based on the Active Directory groups, and they are synchronized with the hierarchy that you already have in the Active Directory, and you can, through that, deploy whichever applications you need. As for the security management, when it comes to ProView, you can create groups. You can group the users and assign different security profiles to them, but you cannot build a hierarchy from these groups. So there is no group within another group that you can build. There's only one group separate from the others. As for the expert view, you can create a hierarchy like you do on Active Directory with the same structure. And for each group, you can create different tasks and policies that apply only to them. When it comes to connecting the endpoint devices in your network, for ProView, after the users are added into the management console by downloading the agent, the console automatically sends them an email that contains an invitation to download the protection app or the endpoint application, and they use this link to download it. And after they download this package, they are automatically connected to the cloud console, and you can centrally manage these devices from the Pro view. But when it comes to the expert view, you have to provide the console with access to your network and discover your devices, whether from the Active Directory domain or from the network addresses. And you can also use a distribution point if you're using the expert view on the cloud. And it's basically, as we mentioned, used to reduce any extra number of connections that may harm your bandwidth. And the distribution point will be used to distribute traffic. And basically any device that contains a distribution, that contains an agent, whether a workstation or a Windows server, can act as a distribution point in the network. And as for the limitations of each console, as we said, the Pro View has a limitation of 2,500 users, and the Expert View has a minimum of 100 users if you're using the Expert View on the cloud. And as you can see from the screenshot, this is the Pro View. You can see that there are not that many options on the sidebar, and it's more easy to understand and simpler in comparison with the expert view that we're going to take a look in the next slide. This is the expert view or the cloud console that is used when you decide to use expert view on the cloud. You can see from the sidebar there are a lot of drop-down menus containing more configurations in comparison with the Pro view. And this is the expert view that is used on premise, and it's basically the MMC console. And you can see there is a huge difference between both consoles when it comes to simplicity and configuration. The Pro, you basically you get the same features with the same configuration, but the expert view requires more hands-on control and more detail in the configuration in comparison with the Pro view. And finally, to summarize our discussion in the webinar, as we said, Kaspersky Next is the latest product line provided by Kaspersky to provide more scalability in the plans. They created the foundations, Optimum and Expert, with different tiers and different requirements that are met. For the foundations, you get robust protection, basic controls with the maximum automation possible for this this level. As for the EDR Optimum, you get an enhanced level of visibility and response, along with expanded cloud security and enterprise level controls that can guarantee your security, and it's a great value for your money as you get all the features that you may need. And finally, we have the XDR Expert that provides advanced threat detection, seamless integration, and powerful threat hunting tools, and it's more catered to the larger organizations and can provide you with direct communication with the Kaspersky SOC team in case of any incident or requirement that may take place. Thank you for your time, and thank you for attending the webinar. And